All right, everybody. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this special masterclass on calling banks. As always, Scott Carson, excited to have each and every one of you join us here today from across the country. I wanted to double check on something here. How's my audio sound? My audio sound okay? Or is it a little wonky this morning for you as we get rock and roll here? Looks like it's doing okay. It's awesome. Thank you very much, Larry. Good stuff there. Top of the morning to you, Linda. RJ, great to see you guys. Fred Tillman, everybody. Uh, Great turnout. Jack Thomas, good to see you, buddy. Rico, RJ. We've got a lot of people that will be joining us throughout the day as they're logging in as work allows. Just excited for this. This is always a fun day when we do this of calling banks. Not only when we do it live with students like you guys and people that are interested in learning how to contact banks properly and how to market to them and things like that, but it's just a fun day for me. I enjoy the conversation. This takes me back to 15 years ago when I first started doing this, when I would pick up the phone and just dial for dollars. Now, the market's totally different now. It's totally in a whole different space than what it's been before in the past. I mean, when I look back what we had 15 years ago compared to what we have today, it is night and day with the amount of tools and technology that we have at our fingertips that make this a whole lot easier than it ever was. I mean, previously it was like a scene out of The Wolf of Wall Street, or The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, where you're pulling a list and then you're just dialing one after a time. Now we'll have some of that, but let's just who here is a natural, like, hey, I'm just perfect on the phone. Who's born with a phone in their hand when they come out of the womb? Who enjoys cold calling, as they would like to say? Nobody, right? Nobody enjoys cold calling. We don't appreciate cold callers calling, because most of the time they're calling us at night. See, yeah, exactly. Frowning face there. Embrace the suck is right. RJ says there. But one of the things, guys, Jack Thomas says, I have over 10 years experience, but I hate it. Exactly. One of the make things here, guys, for you guys that are joining me live here on Zoom, make sure when you're typing in the chat with your questions, make sure you change the chat to everyone. If you're just to hosts and panelists, it will only be to me, which is fine. If you only want to send me a private message, that's right, put the hosts and panelists. But if you want to ask me a question, you want everybody to see it, which I think a lot of people do, especially if you're putting in your personal contact information and stuff like that to network with other people on here, make sure it's the change from to hosts and panelists, change from that to everyone. So I just want to put that in there because people are like, oh, I'm posting questions, and people are like, where are you seeing the questions? I know these are great questions for people to ask, because don't expect you to be here all day. And yes, this is going to be a full day of us working through a variety of things, contacting banks, actually kind of putting the work together so you see how we do it here at We Close Notes. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 15 years now. Made thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls. I won't know if it's quite a million, but I'd be willing to bet I've taken a lot of phone calls. And here's the thing. When I started off, ladies and gentlemen, I hadn't closed a deal. I was very brand new to making my first batch of phone calls. But I knew what to say. I kind of had a tentative script from a mentor of mine. And I just said, listen, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. And it was I'll tell you, at the point that I said, like, I had to do this is I was sitting in my office. We at the time had a mortgage company, Ariel Capital. My buddy Boyd still runs that side, but we were sitting in there. We had this little small office, actually about 2 miles east of us or west of us here. And it had started getting bad as far as, the music starting to slow down, the subprime mortgage thing coming to an end. We were doing paper loans and subprime loans, but I can remember sitting there like, I need to do something different because I see the writing on the wall. And so I was like, luckily for me, I'd had a 4-year basic apprenticeship while we were running the mortgage company with my friend Bob Leonetti and Jimmy Kayla. And they had kind of taught me some scripts, what to say, what not to say. So I typed them all up. I made me a little script book, and I started practicing calling banks. I started role playing with myself in front of the mirror in my office, and Boyd walks. He's like, "You okay? You're talking to yourself in here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm role playing to call some banks to see about buying some notes." He's like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And then he went back into his office. Okay. Well, I made probably 50 fake phone calls, and then I finally started dialing for dollars. And I'll tell you, the first Couple I botched. I completely sucked. Tongue-tied, and I left a lot of messages. But I will tell you this, that first day ended up becoming very fruitful, because on the last phone call that I'd almost said no to, I got a hold of somebody, a Kim Kroc. I can remember her to this day. Kim Kroc for the Aegis Mortgage, or Aegis Wholesale Mortgage out of Houston, Texas. And they had a portfolio for sale. And that's all I needed. Now, some people would say, well, Scott, what happened with 0 through 53 phone calls? And I'll tell you right now, I left a lot of voice messages. So I talked to a few people on stuff like that. People say, we don't have anything, call us back later. We don't ever sell our notes, stuff like that. But I just kept up with it. And I did that. I would do that once a week for a while. Then I started doing it twice a week. Then when everything did hit the fan, I really started making 2-3 phone calls a week, as I finally realized the best bang for my buck was buying notes versus trying to do the other real estate stuff that I was doing at the time after I left the mortgage business, the mortgage origination business, to go from there. But before I go into that, guys, we're going to cover a facet of a couple things. I have to give a big shout out. You see me wearing a cap here. I have to big thanks to our friends at keep.com and Darren Adams over there. They're sponsoring this one-day event. Obviously, you'll see us working through some of our CRM. Keep is a huge fixture in our success, and be able to connect with asset managers on a regular basis. You hear me talk about drip marketing, send an email blast out to them, stuff like that. We'll share some of the stuff that we're doing with Keep to help us manage our in and out contacts, our email blasts, how we are using our CRM to help us build an email list of those that we want to talk to and follow up with. And so big thanks to Darren and Keep.com. We've been a client of them for quite a bit of time, and absolutely love what they're doing. They've been a big focal part of our success and our effective marketing stream. And we'll discuss that by in sharing some scripts and some things like that with you guys, and some sample emails. One of the things that I will be sending out after we're done today, I'll be actually downloading some of our sample emails that we send out, some scripts, put into a nice little PDF manual for you, and send it out to you with some other things as well for you. But anyway, we've got a lot to cover today, and I want to approach it as a brand new person. If you're joining me for the first time, you maybe watched some of our YouTube videos, you're interested in diving into notes. I want to talk about the philosophy a little bit of calling banks and reaching out to banks. Look, we all know that markets have a tendency to fluctuate, as we see, right? When I first started off, it was 100% calling banks. Banks was my number one and really only source to find out. Then you started seeing some of these funds that understood it and got into start buying distressed debt, and then turn around and selling notes to individuals like you and me. And then it went from 100% banks, 75% banks, 25% funds. Then it went to 50-50. And then for a while, it was 75% of our deals were done through these list sources, and only 25% with banks. Well, many people, they never went to the bank route. They just started, I can buy direct from these guys. I don't have to do any work. That's what I'll do. Well, that's okay when you have multiple sources in your list and the pricing makes sense. But as time has changed and as the markets have changed, we've seen more of these list guys go out of business. They stop buying. They're not seeing the big, huge discounts that they once were. You can't just buy a bunch of notes and then wholesale them or mark them up 20, 30, 40%. You have to go and be buying for your own portfolio more so than anything else. And that's luckily for us. And if you've been around for a while, we've always contacted banks. We've always sent emails out to asset managers. I mean, I have some people on my list that have gotten emails from me for, close to 15 years now. And they call my emails the green emails because we have our green logo and green patterns and stuff like that for you. And it's worked out to build a good rapport through just our consistency in calling banks. And that's the one thing I want to really share with you guys here. If you're brand new to this, don't get frustrated if you send an email blast out to a bank list and you don't get responses. That's going to happen. It's all about consistency and following up on a regular basis is what it comes down to. And so those are some of the most important things that you have to realize that you have to do on a regular basis is to follow up with people, follow up with these asset managers, and really focus on a multi-touch facet. Now, by multi-touch, I mean you got to reach out to them more than just one way. Some people will just call banks. Some people will just jump on LinkedIn. Some people will just send emails and that's it. You really need to leverage across different platforms. And we're going to really show you how we do that throughout the day here. We will take some breaks. My voice is going to need a break from talking. Your mind's going to need a bit of a break because I'm a big believer that your mind can only absorb what your ass can withstand, right? So don't be upset if we take a short little break, a 15-minute break every hour and a half, so that you guys can get up, stretch. Because this is, look, I'll be the first one to admit, sitting at your desk and making 5,100 phone calls in a day can be pretty stressful. But what the biggest thing I want you to focus on is if you get in a role, when you start doing this, get in a role, stick with it. Carve you out a 2-hour period, once a week, twice a week as you can, and get going. If you can't call, hey, we've got some things that we'll discuss and how you can leverage your time to get in and contact banks on a regular basis still without having a dollar for dollars you want. So that's the kind of thing I want to go through here with you before we dive into the next the next stuff here for you. And like I said, for some of you guys, it's early. You're in California. You're not going to be calling banks there locally. You would be calling folks on the East Coast. Or if you're on the East Coast, you're not going to be contacting banks or asset managers on the West Coast this early. If you're in Austin, Texas, you're basically at 9 o'clock your time, our time here. You might call a few on the East Coast, but have to kind of transition as the time rolls on across there. So with calling banks, we will be calling banks throughout the day. We'll be calling banks, asset managers, some hedge funds and stuff like that to go through and see what's available for you. We will share how we pull different lists. That's one of the most important things people ask me all the time. Like, Scott, where do you find your list? How do you find the people to call? We will discuss smart marketing techniques and things that you want to embrace to make it easier for you. Now, I get some of you are not the most smart when it comes to technology and social media. I get it. There's a couple of things that we will show you that are not difficult to do, that you just have to get in the habit of doing it and practicing through it. And it'll be actually pretty easy for you once you do it a couple times, okay? We will discuss systems and follow-up. That's one of the biggest things that we will do. And I'm a big believer in simple systems for you. Yes, we have a very robust email service provider and CRM with Keep. And that's great. You guys need to have some sort of email service provider or CRM that you can follow up with. But for what we do when we call banks, we make it very simple via Excel spreadsheets to see who we called, when we called them, and then we can upload those lists and those lists from those Excel spreadsheets to email and follow back up with. Like I said, if you don't have the time, if you are watching this on the down low at work or at night after you get off of work, don't worry. We'll show you some ways that you can do things you can do after hours to help you maximize your time, to make it look like you're doing this during the day. And then how to control the conversations if asset managers reach out to you, how to control those conversations via email or around your work schedule to make the most of it. Because it can be done, and done it for years, taught people how to do this around their job, working with their call schedule or the break schedule so they can return phone calls or they can coordinate with emails in a lot of ways. So don't worry about that. We're going to have a great time today and go from there. But what I wanted to do, one of the things that I wanted to share with you this morning, I filmed something. Let me take my hat off here. Is it there for you? One of the things that I did this morning is you have to realize it's not just picking the phone and call. That's a huge part of it. But when we talk about that multifaceted approach to things, I want to share something. If you're going to do something, as my dad used to say, if you're going to do a job, you might as well do it right the first time, right? You might as well go above and beyond a little bit more than the normal person is, because extra that you do each time, each month is going to go a long, long way in helping you stand out from the crowd, okay? That's one of the most important things that you have to look at. Is not everybody is going to do the extra. Most people, I think we can agree, are going to say, hey, guess what? What's the least amount that I have to do, right? What's the least amount I have to do to be successful? Well, the least amount that you have to do to be successful is nothing. You don't have to do anything. You can just stop. Now, you won't be successful, but the point of the matter being is that you have to realize if you do a little bit extra, and I get it. Some people like, oh, I don't want to do all the stuff that Scott does. I get it. But the things that I'm going to show you how to do today are going to make you not only successful in contacting banks, if you apply the same tools and techniques, it's also going to make you successful in raising capital. It'll make you successful in building a bigger network. If you're not looking to buy notes for your own portfolio, but you just want to look to flip them to other investors, it'll make you successful in that. You have to expand your mind. If you're fearful, and I hear you say, "Oh, I only want to do this," that's fine, but you're really cutting out success. You're really hamstringing your ability to really take your business to the whole next level. And I get it. Wholesaling is a great exit strategy flip, but the only way you're going to build wealth in today's world is buying notes that you can buy with your own portfolio. Buy for your own portfolio, where you're buying notes with other people's money or your own money for cash flow or bigger checks if you have to take the assets back via foreclosure deed and sell it off there. I get wholesaling is a great way to get started, get your feet wet, but the point of the matter being you will be much more effective if you're looking at buying for your own portfolio and going from there. So those are some things that I want to just reiterate. You'll hear me say this throughout the day, and I just want to really, really go through that with you. So one of the things I think is that's really effective in marketing to asset managers, and if you're first and foremost, you got to kind of build a list, right? And we'll go through the different ways that we build a list here in a second. But it's all in the message. And yes, you're going to say the same thing over and over and over again to when you're leaving voice messages, and you're going to leave plenty of voice messages. You're also going to send plenty of emails and say predominantly the same thing over and over. But one thing that you will also do is you'll be reaching out via like LinkedIn and LinkedIn Messenger to these asset managers on LinkedIn. And this is a great tool, whether you have the time to do it, to contact banks, or you don't have the time to contact banks or call banks. You can do this after hours. You can also automate that a little bit. But if you're reaching out to an asset manager for the first time, you're limited on the amount of information you can squeeze into that invite. You got 300 characters to use, right? And that's a lot of precious real estate. So one of the things I like to do that helps me in my contacting banks and contacting asset managers, whether it's through LinkedIn or via email, is I like to include a little video that talks about what I'm doing. I can get a whole lot more words in and share with what I'm doing, right? Than just the 300 characters. I can say a lot more in a 2-minute video than I would ever say in just a, like I said, just a, hey, what do you have in your books? Are you the right person? That kind of stuff to go with. So one of the things that we did this morning, I did up early this morning as I was preparing for you guys, and I just want to share this with you because it's something you can do straight from your phone, and everybody should do this. And I mean that by everybody. All right. It only took me about 5 minutes to upload this video, to film it and upload it. Okay. Let me pull this up here for you. Let me share my screen so you see what I'm talking about. And this is one thing that we're going to use throughout the day. Okay. If you go to my YouTube channel, it just went live 24 minutes ago. All right. If I go to my, hopefully you can see my screen. I think you can. Yeah. So when I log into YouTube, this is what I see. If I go to my videos, this just went live here at 9 a.m. and a 2-minute video. So you guys probably can't hear it. I just realized that. So that's okay. can't hear it, it is sound on there. Let me put this, let me do the link here, and I can share it with you, and you guys can go and listen to it, okay? But if it's what notes are you looking to move this quarter? If you go to weclosenotes.tv, it'll be there for you. Let me put this in the chat there for you. Yeah, for some reason, since we're sharing this differently with Zoom, it won't share the audio for some weird reason off of YouTube. That's okay. It's a 2-minute video, and I filmed it this morning. I hadn't even a cup of coffee when I filmed it this morning, all right? But I wanted to get it filmed and uploaded because we're going to use this link. You know, you're going to use this video to add to your LinkedIn connections. When you send a LinkedIn invite, you're going to add the URL down here at the bottom. You know, you take whatever the web link is here for the video and send it directly to them. And that way you have a better conversation. Now, what do I say through it? Hey, I've been buying for notes for 15 years. I'm looking to see what you have on your books that you might be looking to sell this quarter or next, residential, commercial. Love to talk with you if you got 15 minutes to talk, see about what you have and get a bid back to you. It's pretty simple. 2 minutes. Okay. Everyone is on here is capable of doing it because I didn't do it here on my computer. I literally did that all from my cell phone. Okay. Literally took a selfie. I held it. I had the blue screen behind me in the other room. We have a blue and a green screen here. And that's what I did. I just did a selfie video for 2 minutes. I knew what I wanted to say. Now, yes, I've done many of those. Some of you probably want to script it out, which is fine, or have cue cards. Maybe it doesn't need to be 2 minutes long. Maybe it's a minute and a half, whatever. You don't have to say, oh, I don't have 15 years of experience. Say, listen, I've been an active real estate investor for 10 years or 5 years or 30 years. Love to talk with you because we're looking to buy for our own portfolio. Okay. But that little video, you want to have a clean background. You may not want to do it where your unmade bed is behind you. You probably want to do it against a white wall of something or have somebody hold it for you and go through it. I think I took 2 takes because the first one, the coffee, like I said, hadn't kicked in. But that's one of the most important things that you can do because now, guess what? I uploaded that to YouTube, put keywords in there. If Asset Manager's out searching for it, that'll pop up. Okay, great. I've also gone and I wanted to share this with you because you can start this out your day. And when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think about is, okay, what do I have to do today? What do I have to market today? And that's one of the most important things I think you have to do. And I think it's what helped make this, it's made us successful over the last 20 years, is you always have to start the day with a marketing mindset because your business is to attract clients, right? And I don't care what other side business you're in. If you work for a company and you're not in sales, I get it, but you are in sales. We're all in sales, all in marketing these days. So if you're a realtor, hey, how am I going to attract new clients? If I'm a mortgage broker, how am I going to attract new borrowers? If I'm selling tiddlywinks, how do I attract tiddlywink clients, right? If I'm a note investor, how do I find notes to take a look at? You know, how am I raising capital? And these are the things that kind of go really hand in hand for you. Now, if you work for a company, you've never had to market for yourself. I know that may seem like a fish out of water, but you got to market. I mean, the best pizza joints in the country, you may have the best pizza, but if you don't market, you're not going to stay in business long. You're just going to make pizzas and wait for people to drive by and smell your pizza. It's not going to happen. This is why you got to get the word out what you're doing. And that's what we're doing with that aspect, is that we are sending that first little post. Now, YouTube, great. Our asset manager is searching on YouTube for deals. Probably not, okay? But you still put it there so you can go and use it when you send via email or LinkedIn, okay? Now, another thing that we're going to do with this, let me go back here. Is when you upload it to YouTube, I want to download this thing. I want to download this video. Let me put it in high res. What is this doing? Come on, download. It's acting all funky. Hang on here. There we go. I'm going to my channel here and do it here. Oh, because I know what it was. It was like I wasn't on my account there. All right, so it's downloading this video because we're going to upload this to LinkedIn as well. Okay. Now, LinkedIn is a great resource for reaching out to bank asset managers, and we'll get a little bit more of that later on because there are some big groups on there, and we're also going to contact a lot of asset managers today on LinkedIn that we don't have a direct phone number for, or we don't have a direct email for, okay? And I want to go through that with you, but I've already uploaded, I took the same video that I recorded this morning for YouTube, and I uploaded it to my profile here, okay? So if you follow me on LinkedIn, all right. So one of the things I want to make sure is here's what I did. I took this, I put a quick little brief description on here, and I shared this on my profile. And I put in, some tags of special asset manager, distressed debt, stuff like that. I put this out on LinkedIn because if people are going to be looking at my profile, okay, especially today as we're reaching out to bank asset managers, they look at my profile, I want them to see this video. Besides just sending the invites for this video, I want them, if they don't ever do this, if they click on my profile, I want them to see the consistency of what we're doing, okay? So the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is you create this one piece of content, 2 minutes, 5 minutes worth of work, basically take you 2 minutes to record it. It takes upload it to YouTube, put your little description in, your keywords, have it go live on YouTube, then you'd re-download it and upload it to LinkedIn, or upload this to LinkedIn and save the same text that you just typed into your LinkedIn, your YouTube description into here as well. It's just, this is a tool that will work over and over and over and over and over and over again for you. So you don't have to say the same thing over and over again, okay? We want to work smarter, not harder, okay? We want to get the word out and use social media to help you get it out there. Because if you go straight over here, and if you're working full time and you don't have a lot of time to call asset managers, LinkedIn is going to be your best friend, okay? LinkedIn is going to be a huge, huge tool for you to use on a regular basis, okay? Because we're going to go right off the bat here. We're going to click on our home here, and we're going to go to our groups. All right, because I've got quite a few groups that we work with. I don't have anybody Anthony Jones on there. And so if we go down here to the right here and click on groups here, there's some asset manager groups that you want to go ahead and post in. All right. There's yes, you could post in some of these larger groups, these real estate groups for the most part, but I like to go to note acquisitions and dispositions. It's a smaller group, 1,000 people, which is a-okay. What am I going to do? I'm going to click on, I'm going to hit my, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to select my video to share. And I'm just going to type in, I'm just going to copy paste the same thing I posted in the very first video there. Okay. I'm going to post it. And it'll take a second there while it's uploading. But that's one thing you can do in these groups on a pretty regular basis to get the word out, especially if you're working full time. Okay. Or you've got something from 9 to 5 that you've got to do. Now, some of these groups will let you automatically post. Others will, we've got to wait to see here. All right. Same thing, distressed asset buyers and sellers. We'll do the same thing in this group. Because if I can get this out to these groups and it gets in front of 100, 10, one person, it all needs to see it to be the right person. You've done a good job for the day. And you might want to change this. You could reuse the same video over and over again, a little bit of a difference. If you're doing it once a week, that's fine. But I would change it up a little bit. That's why I went and did the blue background, or I did a different background than my brick wall here that you see behind me on my green screen. I just wanted to change it up. I want something to attract the eyes to get people to look at something a little bit different than what they're normally scrolling through and seeing things. Okay. So that's why we did this. It's literally, if we look at this, we've already basically got it out working in front of, what is that, 12,300 people? Yeah. No, sorry, 12,310 people to be precise. But we keep going down here like bank, direct notes, and REOs. Let's do that. That's Brett Palumbo's service with the Stress Pro, which is not bad. Post it in there as well, because I want to set this stuff up first thing in the morning, because not everybody's being quite awake. Even if you're struggling with being awake, so a lot of times asset managers are struggling with being awake. I would not be dialing for dollars until it's 10 o'clock really in your time zone, or the time zone that you're dialing. Okay. But this is one of the first thing you do, and it's a great thing to start it off and do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Do not do this on a Monday. Do not do this on a Friday, but do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Okay. Because that's when they're spending most of the time at their desk, just like you. And they're going to spend time on LinkedIn. They're not going to spend a lot of time on Facebook. They're probably not going to spend a lot of time on YouTube. But the whole point of the matter being is, if you go through these different groups here, where is it here? Corporate Real Estate, Bank Connects, Real Estate Connect. There we go. This just comes in handy to break up the ice. Put a little video, and ladies, you're going to have an easier time of doing this and contacting banks and asset managers with this than us guys will. And I'm not trying to be sexist. It's just that guys pay more attention, and it's a very male-dominated niche, I guess you could say, or job category. And guys pay more attention to women. Just it is what it is. That's not meant to be a derogatory thing. I'm just trying to help you guys to get ahead. Not saying don't be posting like a bikini video. They won't take you serious for that. But you get what I'm saying. Same thing. Headshot, just like I did there. Share it out there with folks. Let's see here. Special asset managers and professional. That's one thing that we're looking for here. 2,700 people in this group. And we're just posting. We're just trying to get those out. I didn't post in these groups earlier this week or last week as well, because I knew we had this coming up. So I wanted to do this week to share with you guys. Let's go one more group. I think we've got. Boom, boom. Secondary marketing. That was what I was looking for. It's 4,500 people in it. And one of the things you want to do when you upload your video, make sure that your website and either a link to your calendar to schedule is right at the top. The very first couple things up there. And that's why we have those links up there. That's the first thing they see, but it's also very easy for them to go to connect, click on things. Okay. All right. That one's uploaded. And I think that's the last one we're going to post to those 5 or 6 groups this morning. Yeah, I believe that's it. Okay. So that's one of the big things. Now think about that. How good are you going to feel like, hey, I got something done? I recorded a little video. I've now got it out in front of, sending it out to hopefully 20, 30,000 people that may be the right type of individuals for me. Okay. Now, the great thing at why this works as well for you, if you're uploading this to YouTube, is you'll have private sellers contact you as well. Okay. You'll have people that have a one-off note here or there reach out to you. And I had that happen yesterday from videos that I posted. Somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn yesterday, say, hey, I've got a note for sale that I'm looking to move. It's a performing note, and it looks like we're in negotiations on, they like our initial bid. But that's the thing, is you just have to, when you start putting on your profile that you're a note investor and that you buy performing and non-performing notes, institutional and non-institutional debt. You'll start getting people as long as you're starting to share things on a regular basis. Because part of contacting banks to be effective is that you pass the smell test. Can we agree to that? You want to look like it, sound like it, smell like a note buyer. Okay. Do note buyers have a bad BO? Do they have a note BO, a body odor? We don't know about? No. But what I'm trying to get at to the point here, ladies and gentlemen, is asset managers are going to go straight to your LinkedIn profile and look at you. Do you pass a test? Do you post on a regular basis? Do you talk about real estate? Do you have something on there? Now, we all know there's a lot of bankers that don't ever post on LinkedIn. They have a LinkedIn profile, but they haven't done any activity to it. That's fine. But when they come looking at your stuff, or when they do log into LinkedIn, they see an invite from you, they go to your profile. Do you pass the snuff test? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Guess what? Doesn't matter if you've never posted on LinkedIn before, if you just have a profile. Just start sharing articles, start sharing stuff that's going on. It's one of the easiest things that you guys can do to start building that, I guess you want to say, that rapport without ever talking to the asset manager. Because an asset manager at a bank is either going to call you back or email you back if you look like you know what you're saying and you sound like you know what the hell you're talking about. All right. How do I know this? Because when I hadn't closed on a single note, when I didn't have money to buy notes, but I was still reaching out to them, I got those lists because I passed the smell test. All right. And the smell test was, does this guy know what the hell he's talking about? Is he going to be an embarrassment to work with? Is he just wasting my time? And you do not want to waste people's time. Okay. This is why you want to make and condense your time frames by hitting people on a multifaceted approach. Now, are the LinkedIn groups going to see a lot of activity? Probably not. They're probably not. But I do want mine to show up. I do want mine in the right groups to show up, so when that activity does come around and people do get alerted to it and do see it, guess what? Hopefully I'm the person they're thinking about. They're going to look for that guy with the blue screen. They're going to look for the green emails that go out that we send on a regular basis. That's what you want to be top of mind. Now, you're not competing against me. I don't consider any of you competitors. I believe that there's plenty of deals out there for everybody. Okay? Huge believer in that, because I've seen it done. There's so many deal opportunities out there. You just have to go out and kill the deals yourself. You got to go out and hunt and kill it yourself versus sitting around and hoping people are going to respond back to you. But that's one of the great things you can do. Very easy to do. Record your video at night and then send it out first thing in the morning before you go to work. If you've got a full-time job, guess what? Record it, go to work, and then go from there. Now, there's another thing that you can do if you're working on a part-time basis or working full-time and notes or you're part-time. Another great thing to systematize your outreach. And that's a tool called Octopus CRM that I want to share with you guys. Some of you guys have heard me talk about it before. This is one of the best tools that we have ever come across. Okay. When it comes to automating our outreach to asset managers or outreach anything on LinkedIn, it is a octopuscrm.io is a Google Chrome plugin. Pretty affordable. They've got different levels of it. I think I pay $22 a month or something like that for it. But it works with LinkedIn, all right, by being able to scrub LinkedIn to pull profiles into the Octopus CRM, and then it will send out, you can set it up to send out contacts to asset managers or secondary marketing, whatever you might want to do. Okay. So let me go here and go to Octopus, and I'm going to share my screen with you, a couple of things that we do, because this video that we just did is going to be very valuable on Octopus, especially for those that are reaching out to asset managers. So if we go to Octopus, all right, let me do this. Let me log out of here and just go straight there from there. All right. So when you're going to your LinkedIn profile, because you want to start there at LinkedIn, all right, and let's say we want to look for, let's do this, whole loan traders. Whole loan traders are one of the, here we go. Where was it at? Was one of the job categories that we want to look at. If we want to look at for portfolios, this would be a good one to go to. All right. And you can see Charles Wang, Director of Whole Loan Trading at MetLife, Newport Beach. Okay. Director of Whole Loan Trading at Baird, Brian Blumenauer. Managing director and the head of whole loan trading at this other Stephen Boone. Okay, there's a lot of people here, right? Which is great because when you look at people, you change it to people, whole loan trading. There are 408 results with that. Okay, that's not too bad. Annalie Eckes, VP whole loan trading at Flagstar Bank. Now, yes, you can go through here and connect these one at a time, which is really good. You could do that if you don't have the 21 bucks for Octopus, and it's going to take you a little time. If you don't have that, then you're probably going to do this at night while you're sitting in front of your computer. You could do that definitely. Now, one thing too is important about LinkedIn. If you don't have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, if you have a relatively new profile or a profile you've not done with, LinkedIn, if you're just going and connecting individually with these, they're probably going to limit the amount of connections you can make to maybe 100 a week until you've grown your connections. That's okay. If you can only connect with 100 people a week, it's 100 people more than you probably connected with last week, right? So what I like doing is you go do a search here for job titles like this, whole loan trading. And then we go over here and Octopus I have installed. So I'll just click on Octopus, my extension here. Go down here, click on Octopus. I want to make sure you can see this. So you can see my screen. There we go. So Octopus pops up, this little pop-up is here. And so I want to create a campaign. Special asset managers. Let's see here. Where's whole loan traders? Whole loan sales. All right. And how many profiles? Now I want to send 1,000 profiles. Now this is only 408, but let's do say 500. I want to send 500 profiles that I'm looking at right now. And that's the thing is Octopus is going to look at your LinkedIn that you have open to see what you're looking at. Now, if you have you don't have it on a search for a job title, stuff like that, it's going to give you an error message. So what I'm going to do is I have my send users from this search that I have going on right now, and I'm going to do that. I've already got a campaign kind of created. So I'm going to hit send to CRM. Okay. Now what's going to happen is Octopus is going to go on here on my search here. And there you can see them. They're going to pull those profiles and lists, and they're going to pull them over into Octopus. All right. And it'll take a little bit of time, but it's 11% done. I mean, they've gone through 50 already, which is one of the greatest things that you can do. It saves you so much time because one of the things I do every morning when I get up, when I sit down at my computer, I do this before I ever check my email because I don't want to get bogged down in emails. I don't usually check my emails fully till about 11 or noon. If I can get away with it. That's easier said than done, right? All right, so it's pulled over. So let's go now. If we go over here to our CRM, click here on a button here. It tells me, okay, well done, Scott. 183 out of 500 profiles requests have been transferred to the campaign. 208 profiles have been skipped because 179 profiles are already in my campaign. Okay. 28 profiles have been already processed by you. 1 profile was reviewing your information. So great. So now I have let me pull this up. This is special asset managers. We're going to go down to whole loan traders. Loan sales. There we go. So I have a total of 2,600 that I've pulled over previously. Okay. So I have a defaulted message that I sent here. I want to see if you have any loans that might be available in there. So I'm going to tweak this up. I want to change this now to include the video, right? Now, what I want to do with this video is I want to try to see how many people have clicked on the video, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bit.ly link for this, a link that I can track views specifically for this one video on this one link, okay? So I'm going to go back over here to YouTube. I'm going to take my link. Just going to copy the URL from the video. Very simple to do. Copy video link. I'll go back to bit.ly. I'm going to create a bit code, a short code for it. Create. I'm going to make it a shorter URL. I'm going to say sell notes. We buy notes. Actually, we're just going to make it shorter and sweet. Save. Oh, all right, hey. I've used that already. Okay, so let's just do this. No buyer. Here we go. It's available. So we close notes. They nationwide. No buyer. Something simple with it. All right, save it again. I'm copying that over here. Copy that URL now so I can track it. So I'm going to go back over here to Octopus. And the same thing. Hello. And what's great about this is it'll merge this now where it'll take first name, last name, and make it very customizable when I'm going out connecting with people. Okay. So hello, first name. I want to see if you might have any loans on your books. Let's do this. Shorten it down. Move this quarter. I've been buying NPNs for my own portfolio for 15 years. I'm buying in most of the major markets in the United States. I'm going to put this link in here. You're limited to only 300 characters. So that's why you got to make sure that your characters don't go over 300. It'll give you a countdown basically. So, hello, I wanted to see if this first name could be longer for some others and shorter than others. So I wanted to see if you might have any notes, loans on your books. Let's change this. I want to reach out. Let's see if you have see if you have any notes. Or loans is fine. Move this quarter. We're buying NPNs on portfolio since 2008. I'm buying in most of the major markets. Would love to talk. Let's talk. The reason I just put a first name in there, you can put first name, last name, whatever, but I want to be a little bit more personal there for you. You could say, hello, Mr. or Mrs. blank, or first name, last name. I like it being a little bit more general name, just reaching out to see. I wanted to reach out to see if you have any loans on your books that you might be looking to move this quarter. Okay, looking to move or sell this quarter. I'm buying non-performing notes in my own portfolio. 2008, I'm buying in most of the major markets. Here's a video. Let's talk. That's what I want to put in there. Thanks, Scott Carson. Okay, so what I want to do is I've got a bit of an advanced profile. Like when you have over 27,000 connections, we've been using Octopus for the last 4 years. 4 years or 3 years, I can't remember, but it's helped us go from 6,000 to 27,000 connections. All right. And that's why we use it so much. It helps us build our profile. It's another amazing social media network for us with LinkedIn. But the thing is, this has helped me do it 50 to 100 people at a time per day. Now, some of you, like I said, you may only be able to do 20 a day, 100 a week. That's fine. My assistant was going on and doing something yesterday, pulling a list that I'll share with you, and she got shut down after 50. Because she hadn't really spent much time on LinkedIn. That's fine. But the idea here is to just get the ball rolling. And we're going to say, let's start it with 100. Let's see what it'll do for today. And we're going to launch it. Now, it shows on here, you can see the last time I took this list was the whole launch was 11 months ago. Well, I use special assets. I have other smaller lists along with this that we do on a regular basis. But I wanted to share this with you. Do this. So I'm going to hit launch. And it's going to go out. It's going to start this process. I'm sending these invites out there. Now, it may say, oh, you've maximized your connections for the day, 50 or 75. That's fine. Totally fine. It's going out there now while I'm doing something else. If you're going now to work, or now you're going to jump in your car and head to the JOB, or you've got something else, this is now working in the background while you're working on something else. Whether you're at your laptop or you're out having to take work at your job, or you do this from your computer at work while you're doing something else, this is a great way to keep the ball rolling. This is a great way to add a little bit of money to your real estate bank. My personal trainer, Thomas Nee, would always say, hey, after a workout, hey, good job. You put some money in the fitness bank or the health bank today. Put a little bit in each day into your bank. Okay? And a little bit each day goes a long way. If you're consistent with it, it will help you. Now you can see it's sent out there. One was 35, one was 4 seconds ago, one was 36. Now it's out processing those for me, which is a beautiful thing, right? Now we've, in a matter of about 20 minutes, what have we done? We got connections going on this. We've got LinkedIn working for us. Boom, you're already rock and rolling at the first hour of the day with technically marketing to more people than most people will do in a year. Most people aren't going to even send an email blast. Most people are just going to jump on LinkedIn and comment or share a photo or something like that. Or they're going to jump on YouTube and look at YouTube videos, but not really post anything valuable. Start posting things valuable, because if we've now posted to LinkedIn and YouTube, you have really 2 out of 3 of the most important things in marketing when it comes to contacting asset managers. We're not talking about a whole series on assets. We're talking 1 2-minute video about what you are looking for. That's important. What are you looking for? People will watch a video before they'll watch it, read an email. And so the video allows for your connections to say, oh, I like that. Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. Now, here's the thing. The reason we put the bit.ly link in there, so if people are watching and they click on the link, I can see how many people clicked on the link just straight from this bit.ly thing on Octopus here. Yes, it'll take them to the YouTube video, and the YouTube video will watch, but they're just watching the YouTube video directly and want to see that there's a little bit of difference when it comes to my marketing. I want to kind of track it. bit.ly links are free. You get a bit.ly account for $0, okay? The YouTube video, $0, doesn't cost you. LinkedIn, $0. The only thing that we've so far has been anything that's cost you any time budget-wise is Octopus. That you can either pay in full at $14.99 a month across 12 months, or I like to do the month-to-month, because if I'm going to take a month off vacation, I'll suspend it and come back. But this is such a critical factor in success, because these are the things anybody can do at any time of the day to help you get rocking and rolling. But you have to, as I say, you've got to work out that special asset manager, or that whole loan trading, or that secondary marketing professional list, whatever it might be. You've got to reach and build those muscles every day. How do you get good and build a good contact list? A little bit each day, and going forward. I mean, if you're doing this 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to be doing, you're going to see some great responses after a month. I mean, you'll see you'll start getting responses in the first week in a lot of cases. Okay. It comes in really, really handy for you. All right. Let's pull on and go from here really fast. Let's move on to something else here for you. Okay. So one of the things you can also do is, as you're pulling lists of asset managers, and by list, not just the LinkedIn, I'm talking about where you have a list. Let's go through some of the different ways that we have built a list over the last couple of years. And I'm going to talk about what's in today's market, because there's some things that have changed previously for you. Now, another thing that you can do, if you're working full-time, you may not be able to attend different conferences, right? You may not be able to go to different events. And there's an event going on right now, actually, in Florida called the IMN conference. Okay. Now, IMN, you're going to love this. They put on a couple of different events each year. Actually, they put on quite a few events. So if you look at all conferences, you'll see they've got one right now, the NPL's Notes and Default Servicing. All right, in Palm Beach, Florida. They have the Bank Special East Asset Managers East today and tomorrow in Miami. And they also have the Bank Special Asset Manager West as well down here. Where's it at here? Bank Special Asset Managers West in July, okay, in Dana Point. Now, Greek NPLs. If you want to buy NPLs in Greece, there you go. This one's in Athens, Greece. But what's great about this, if you click on this one here, let's just do this one here. Okay. If you click on past event, a lot of times you'll see stuff that's popped up for you. And that's from 2 years ago. All right. It'll show you the sponsors. Now, I think the great way to look at it is go to these sponsors and see who's there, because these can be great resources for your note business. Some of them are websites, some of them are asset managers, some are going to be REO, some are going to be due diligence. Like, Revolve, Essence Servicing. Those are sources for you to kind of take a look at it. You might look at Note Trader. That's a new one. This is from 2 years ago. Yeah. So you can take a look at this. This is kind of, I haven't spent any time with them on this because we don't get enough deals by ourselves. But that's just an opportunity for you to take a look at. Now, a lot of times they'll even list the previous events. We go to past event. And here's the thing. Look at this, investors and servicers. If you click on this, oh, damn it. I want you to log in here. All right. This is just new. All right. So here's the thing. You can literally go through and look at this. Doesn't cost you anything for what I just did, just to register. It will give you, they just put this under where they got to log in now. They used to do where there's a download now. They just changed this up this week. But once again, you can register without having to register for the whole event, without having to pay for it. But now you've got this whole database here of people who've been to the event. Now you don't see the first name and last name, but you have the job title and the company name, right? Which is pretty freaking cool. All right. That's well worth it. Now, if we go, that's from 2019. If we go back to the main page, this is, that's 2020. Let's click on this, Investor Services. Sign with LinkedIn, see if it does the 2021 for you. Yep, there you go. There's the people that attended the 2021. Now you can copy paste that into a spreadsheet, which is pretty stinking awesome, right? Portfolio manager. Anybody that says portfolio manager, special assets manager, secondary marketing director, like managing director, Boston Portfolio Advisors, they have notes you can take a look at. Okay. Bayview Loan Servicing, they've got some notes that they'll sell from time to time. Bayview Loans or Bayview Asset Management, Senior Vice President, they'll sell stuff from time to time. So here's one of the great things out here. You put this list in Excel for, you know, the job titles and then the names. It'll take a little bit of work, but it's worth doing. Okay. You will get a list that looks a little bit like this. Okay, come on here. All right, let me share this. This is a spread. This is what we've done. We've put this together. We pulled this list in here. I've got my assistant going through here and doing other things. So they had the previous attendees from the East Bank Asset Manager Conference. So when I look at this, when I put the list together here for you, copy paste it from a couple years ago, there's only 79 there. If I go through 2019 for the NPLs, and we're pulling this list and working through it a little bit at a time, there is 443 contacts there. If we do the total past attendees, which they offered that up, they may not have it on there anymore. I didn't see it this morning. There is 455 contacts that attended there. And then also the West Bank Special Asset Managers, there was 200 from the West Coast Special Assets Manager, all right? Yeah, 201. So the great thing about this is I went ahead and I said, okay, I wanted to keep this simple. I reached out to my assistant, Hazel, who had a downtime yesterday. I said, Hazel, can you do me a favor? Can you just go to LinkedIn and do a search for the job title and the company name? And then what I want you to do is just see if there's somebody on LinkedIn that has that job title or that job name. And so she did that. She went over there and she's like, okay, she pulled this information. She goes, what do you want? I said, well, then if you can, find a phone number, email, but most importantly, let's keep it simple. Just copy paste over their LinkedIn URL. Why their LinkedIn URL? Because if we have their first name, last name, and LinkedIn URL, we can basically import that list into, guess what? Octopus. And instead of us having to contact them one at a time, which we will do some throughout the day today, contact on LinkedIn, we're going to upload this as a separate list, and that we can contact them individually. And since we know that they went to an event for IMN, we could literally tailor our message for those that went to IMN and say, hey, saw that you attended the IMN conference. I just wanted to touch base, see if you had anything on your books you're looking to get rid of. If you had any notes for sale, or knew of anybody had any notes for sale, I'd love to talk with you. Something very simple. And like I said, Hazel was able to get through roughly about 40 of these before LinkedIn shut her down, which is okay. It's going to happen from time to time if you're brand new to it. You just have to build up that traction on LinkedIn on a regular basis. So that's pretty cool, right? You have out of these, she's only touched the base on. She's only getting this done for a couple hours yesterday. But something you do off hours for. Now, yes, could you pay a VA to do that? Yes, I have a VA pulling this whole list and coming back to me on all 4 of these tabs. But I wanted to just share that, hey, she did this from basically 2 to 4 yesterday before it shut her down. She was able to find names. Actually, it was a little bit longer. It was more like noon to 4 o'clock. And, if you find 10 contacts an hour, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, because you never know if these individuals will have 1 note or 1,000 notes. Now, they may have no notes, but the idea is you're building these contacts. And as long as you continue to follow, everybody will have something at some point. Everybody will have something at some point. And as long as you're continuing to follow up and do the work on a regular, pretty easy basis, like I said, it's going on right now behind us. Without me doing anything else, I'm reaching out to asset managers through Octopus on an automated service. It is a cool thing. Now, you can use Octopus for other things, like I use it also to get me booked on podcasts. I use it to find other note investors. I use Octopus to find investors in Georgia or Ohio, wherever I have a note for sale. I'll use it to connect with people a little bit at a time, okay? A little bit at a time to add your database. So this is one great thing, the West Bank Special Asset Manager list here. West Coast Bank Special Asset Manager list. I got a chunk to work with, right? I'm pretty stoked about this. She did a good job. Found some first name, last names, and we're going to import that here in a minute or two once Octopus is finished working. And let's see if Octopus, how's it doing over here. Click back on the profile. It's gone through 24% of those, okay? So it's out there processes, and I love it. I absolutely, some people won't be the right name on this. Some people have the different titles. As you start going through, that's okay. You're going to maybe connect with the wrong person from the searches. Totally fine. But the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is the 80% of it being accurate is 80% better than you're doing. Most of you aren't doing any type of connections. Most of you aren't doing any bank outreach. You got to start doing something to find some deals. You got to start taking actions on a regular basis to make some things happen for you, okay? So while that's working there, let's go back over here. So I like IMN. That's a great way to pull some lists for you guys. There are different, if you type in Mortgage Bankers Association, there we go, Mortgage Bankers Association. Sometimes you can pull lists off of these guys. So let's see here. There are different events that the Mortgage Bankers Association puts on here. Let me move the stuff around. Okay, so here we go. All upcoming events. What we want to look for is like the big one that they'll have, okay? Not Impact, not a webinar. We want to look for like a big year-end conference. Here we go. Secondary and Capital Markets Conference and Expo. This is May 15th to the 18th, so it's in 2 months. Let's click on that one. Let's take a look at it. It's in New York City. There you go. Hey, RJ Santiago, you're in New York City. I would go hang out with where it's at. So there's going to be 1,000 industry professionals, 400 leading companies, 50 expert speakers. I would just go hang out in the bar wherever it's at, okay? So let's see if we can't find a registration list of some sort. So here's some of their sponsors, which they don't have a lot, which is okay. So what I like to do is, let's look at this. So the event home, where's the hotel at? Oh, maybe it's not on here yet. Maybe just look. So let's go to exhibitors. Okay. This is a great thing to take a look at because it will often, there you go, right there. A&D Mortgage, American Land Title, they're sort by company, both. Let's see here. They haven't updated the whole list yet. There'll be more than 10 exhibitors at this thing, trust me. Okay. There we go, accommodations. New York Marriott Marquis. Okay. So there you go. That's what I would do. I would go there and hang out in the lobby. That's what I would do. If I was there in your backyard, I would go there, hang out in the lobby. Pretty easy to do. Look like you belong. Maybe you can squeeze in, since this is a couple-day event, maybe you even squeeze into the event. But that's one of the great things about doing that stuff. Now, oftentimes, if you go and look here, this doesn't have a lot of information yet on it, which is okay. Let's do this. Let's go Mortgage Banker Association. Let's look at, let's just see if there's any type of, see what's going on here. I like to, let's see this, all MBA. You all. There you go. If you want to find out, here's one great way to find out all members of the Mortgage Bankers Association. And this would be a good list to go through, have a VA go through. Now you're going to have a lot of vendors on here, but you're going to have a lot of lenders and some credit unions and stuff like that. But literally, there's the members list for you. And you can start looking for, okay, let me do this individual and type in special asset manager or portfolio trader or loan trader or whole loan trader, whatever it might be, chief credit risk officer. But this is a big list for you of everybody that's a member of the MBA. Now, here's the thing. If you click on, I hope it won't let you click on it, but you can copy paste this over to Excel, and that could be something you're working through. Now, yes, it's a bigger list, but how do you eat an elephant? This is a big elephant of a list. You start with one bite at a time and not ass in first, okay? So go through this, look at this, help with my loan, Inc., Happy State Bank. Some of these are going to be great resources for you. And the reason we talk about doing this is because nobody else is doing this. Everybody else out there is trying to get a note from Revolve Capital or Previously Granted or Essence Servicing. They're not spending a lot of time doing this type of prospecting. And this is one of the great things that you can do in prospecting to find deals in today's market. Because 99.9% of note investors out there are inherently lazy and don't want to do anything, okay? We are all lazy. Raise your hand if you like your laziness, and sometimes. We all are like that. But this is the point, is the reason I'm giving you these different things is giving you and showing you that there's so many different ways to find assets, so many different ways to find deals if you just reach out, if you do some basic search and go from there, okay? Questions about this? I know we haven't made any, but you could literally pick up the phone and start dialing for dollars on some of the stuff once you find out where their corporate office is at, okay? But what I like to do, let's say you've gone through LinkedIn a little bit, you've jumped on the Mortgage Banking Association, you looked at IMN, you've tracked down some sources for emails and stuff like that. That's great. Ultimately, you're going to want to send an email list out to asset managers, or you've built a list over time. There's something on a regular basis to follow up with. And what I like to do is go over here into Keep. And when you've pulled your lists, okay, and I'll go through a couple different places for lists, okay? I like to, let me just see here. Let's go back here. I sent an email out this week. Where is it? Do you have any naughty notes? Here, sent March 10th. There's another one. It should have been another one sent. I'll find it anyway. So this is went out. Where is it? Do you have any naughty notes? Let me pull this up here. So this went to one of my smaller lists. So it went to a list of basically 2,600 asset managers or 1,365 asset managers. Okay, total delivered. Actually, it went out to 1,700, but 249 were bad emails that bounced. That's okay. It happens. But we had 128 opens, which is the important thing. Okay, and 1,237 that did not open it. Okay. So what I did, oh yeah, this went to the Texas Mortgage Bankers list. Okay, that's exactly because you can see the list on here that it went to. And I'll share with you how to pull that list. Texas has a pretty easy way for you to be able to request and get a list of all the licensed mortgage bankers that do business in Texas, and then all the mortgage companies that do business and all the servicing companies that do business in Texas. It's a pretty awesome freaking list there for you to use. But if you want to see the email, it's pretty simple. We're just going to pull this up, view the email. And this is my email, my logo, my smiling face, which is the same photo on LinkedIn for the most part. I just want to drop you a quick email, introduce myself, and see if our firm can help you clean up your books this quarter. We're looking for non-performing notes in residential and commercial assets for our own portfolio. I would love to talk with you. Oh, come on, where's my expanded? Yeah, I mean, this is an email that I've used pretty regularly, and I'll send you a copy of this. But what I want to go through with you guys today is literally sending out that email to folks that you can do on a regular basis. So what I want to do, I want to resend this out. We had a 9.4% open rate, which is great, pretty average for a regular email. We still had 90% didn't open. That's fine. So what am I going to do? I'm going to send it out to everybody that's been total delivered. So I'm going to click on that list. I'm going to click on all that stuff there, and I'm going to send an action and send email, or in my case, send a broadcast. Send an email broadcast, and I have got a template set up in here already, or I can send the same email, just tweak it up. Now, when you send out an email to asset managers, you want to probably keep it very short and sweet. All right, so let me go to my previous emails here. We sent a lot of emails out. There it is right there. Do you have any naughty notes? And you see my background's green. So when it pops up, it's that green here. Just want to drop you a quick email to introduce myself, see if our firm can help you clean up your books this quarter. We are looking for non-performing notes. And then it says, do you currently have anything on your books you would like to be done with? Okay, great. Now what I'm going to do here is I like to show that we've been buying notes for a while, that we have a bigger team. I also have a podcast. You guys don't have a podcast. It's fine. I'm going to get rid of some stuff. Make it a little short and sweeter. Because what we're going to do now is put that video in there. Delete this. Don't really need social on here. What you do want to do is have your photo go back to your LinkedIn profile, and I have that over here. If they click on my link, it connects them there. So do you have any notes on your books you would like to get rid of? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave my email pretty much the same, but I'm going to insert one thing in here. Pretty easy for it. I'm going to insert this video. Okay. I'll go back over to YouTube. I'm going to pull this link. Go back to Keep. Click on there. I'm going to paste the URL in there. I'm going to put that in there. Okay. And that's my message. And that's exactly what I'm going to send it now. So we close notes and my top job title. I'm going to leave it. Do you have any notes? Are you selling anything? Actually, that's what I want to do. Let's do this. Do you have any naughty notes? Selling. Subject line here. Are you looking sell anything this quarter. Okay. Then what you can do is I like to insert, most of these people have their first name and last name in a lot of cases, but I want to insert their first name. Because if you insert their first name into our mail merge, you get a higher open rate. Okay. Pretty simple, short and sweet. Click here to schedule a call. I want to make sure that goes to the right link. That's going to take them directly to my Talk with Scott Carson email or my Calendly schedule. And that's going out there. All right. So I've got going to 1365. Looks pretty good. And I'm just going to go ahead and review and send it. And it's after 10 o'clock my time, which is perfect. Here's a great thing about Keep is I got this. It can basically pick the best. It recognizes I've sent emails out to these folks before, and it'll pick the best time that these people open up the email. So I'm going to send it the best time today. Okay. See, we'll send your email within 24 hours. It'll arrive at the top of your contacts inboxes when they typically open your emails. That's kind of a cool thing versus it sitting in there and sitting for 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours and getting buried by everything. So if you don't have that, if you haven't sent that out, that's fine. You still send it out at a specific time. I want to send it out at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. If you haven't sent it at the best time to send it out, I would tell you right now, is sending it out roughly, if you're on the West Coast, send it out at 9 a.m. your time because that's noon on the East Coast. If you're on the East Coast, send it out at roughly 1 o'clock in the afternoon because that will be noon Central Standard Time. It's still going to be 1 o'clock on the East Coast time. So by 10 o'clock on the West Coast. So trying to shoot for that 10 a.m. on the West Coast, the latest time, but get an email out Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Do not send an email Monday. Do not send an email Friday. So we're going to hit send. It's going out to all of them. All right. And my inbox will probably start beeping with autoresponders coming in. Okay. But here's the thing is when you send emails out and blast out stuff like that, look who's opening it. Because now, if we go back here to the one that I sent out last week, sent out on Thursday, the 128 opens, I'm going to click on those. All right. Okay. And some of these are licenses, stuff like that. That's pulled off the Texas Savings Mortgage Bank. But I can take this list, 128. This is going to be my call list. Okay. Oh, somebody listened to my podcast. Look at that. That's nice. Somebody listened to my podcast there. Some people opted out, which is totally fine. I'm going to take this list, though, and I'm going to export it. I'm going to pull the list out because this is going to be our call list. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Now we have a list to call off of people that have opened my email, or at least we responded to once or twice. Okay. That's a beautiful thing. All right. That's an effective way. Now you've got a multi-attack approach. Now, a lot of people will look at like the Bauer Financial list, which is a quarterly list that is produced by Bauer Financial. What they do is they get the quarterly reports filed by banks and they evaluate those quarterly reports and then give you a ranking system of that bank, 0 star to 5 stars. And they share that information that you can purchase for, $300, $400 a quarter, which will show you the ratios, amount of default, stuff like that. It's not a bad list. It doesn't give you any contact information. So you've got to still go over to find contact. Now it gives you the normal 1-800 number most of the time, which is pretty ineffective. But two is you can use the Bauer Financial list to find out the banks with the most amount of debt. It's pretty easy in a spreadsheet. Distress Pro that Brett Palumbo does is a great tool, but it can be kind of expensive, but it also gives you a lot of information. And it shows you some of the ratios that people or the banks will start to put together with the idea that they'll sell. I'm more of a shotgun approach, narrow it down. It's that whole funnel aspect. Let me fill the funnel up big on top and then let it filter down so that I have a great amount of great leads at the bottom of my funnel. Some people want to go very narrow. I'm going to do a lot of research and call. Well, if they don't have anything you've wasted a lot of time doing research. Whereas I'm a big proponent. Hey, I'm gonna throw a big net out there, and those that have something will respond over time, or they'll unsubscribe or they'll opt out, which is totally fine. But I'm still gonna follow up with them, and after I've touched them once or twice, because here's the biggest thing that screws up for most people. Most people will follow up once or twice, and that's it. Okay. Yeah, Jack asked a question here. You prefer Keep over other automation platforms like MailChimp, Aweber? Yeah, MailChimp has changed up quite a bit in the last quarter. They're not being very friendly to real estate investors. So if you've never sent an email out with MailChimp, don't go to Keep. With Keep, I can upload lists. I'll upload scrub lists and lists that we've done stuff, but I do not recommend MailChimp at all. I mean, I've used both Keep and MailChimp for years, but MailChimp is just the way they've adjusted their settings. They got bought by a new company or something like that as well. So I like Keep a lot better. It's got a lot bigger bang for the buck without all the headaches. Actually, MailChimp, Constant Contact, they're not friendly to investors like you and me. Jack's a good question. Okay. Someone else got a question here. Yeah, well, that was the same question. Okay, good. Yep, you're welcome. All right, so with our download, let me pull up our download. All right, so here is our download. So we can see here is exactly what we have. Oh, wait a second. I have content. Hang on. I exported the wrong list. Hang on. I forgot to do. I didn't do it right. I don't need this list. This is just there. Because it doesn't give me any contact information except their emails. Now I have their emails. Nope, I don't want to save this. Let me go back here to Keep. HubSpot's fine. I don't use HubSpot, so I can't really speak to it. Really, I've got some friends that use it and they like it. So great. So what I'm going to do here, instead of exporting this list, let me go back to the list. I want to tag these people, and then I can. There we go. So we selected them. Actions. I'm going to tag them. Apply, remove tag. If HubSpot will allow you to upload like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 emails to your database from a list, and then you can send out to without giving you any trouble, great. All right, so I'm going to create a new tag, and we're going to call these as April. Sorry, it's March, not April. March 22 bank opens. Save it. I'm going to process it. So it's going to go through and tag all these people. Now I have all their information in my system. I can export that tag group. Okay. Well, that's tagging. Let's go back here and see how Octopus is doing. Up 60% of the way done. Already in the process. And here's the thing I want you done here. You see, I've already sent an invite to this one guy, Carl Pankratz. So it's already sent. Already sent, so it didn't send one. So you already sent one and skipping it. Yay! Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's go back here. All right, it's tagged. All right, so now we'll go now to contacts. All right, now let's go to the tag status. Let's do bank. It's March. Bank. Bank opens. That's it. Search. Go. Click on those. Now we're going to export this because I have everything. All our contact info. Yes, 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 yes. Export it. All right, now I have a much more effective call sheet there, right? Look at this. And I'm going to narrow some, I'm going to clear some of the stuff up. So I've got their information that we pulled. I don't need spouse's name or birthday. Phone, which is good, extension 105. Let's get rid of some stuff that we don't need. Some of them I have their addresses, which is great. But now I've got a very effective list to call off of. Can we agree to that? Don't need all this stuff here, all these tags and other things. Actually, I do need one of those. Hang on here. Time zone. I don't want to waste time calling in a bad time zone. Now we get the rest of it. Okay. I want to keep my sheet clean here. Okay. And let's do this. We're going to filter this. Custom sort. We're going to add data as headers. And we're going to sort it by first name. Actually, let's do name. A to Z. Great. Then what we're going to do now, here's these unknowns. Those be generic who we ask, like, okay. And this ID number is basically the contact ID of my system. I'll do that right now. Okay. So now I have name, a company name, I have personal names. Okay. I have their phone number, I have their email address for the ones that I have. And the ones that are unknown that I don't have a contact name or company name, they're down here as well. So let's do this. We want to be able to ask for a name, right? Let's do this. Let's sort it by, let's resort it. Custom sort, just filter it. And custom sort by first name, last name. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we'll have people we can ask. People ask for Gary, or we can ask for Jeff, and then that makes for an effective aspect. Now here's the thing: some of these emails are going to say like, let's look at licensing, or let's go down here. I saw something like compliance. Here we go, like licensing or compliance. That's going to be an email that we're not going to talk to. This will be like, hey, who's in charge of this? Okay, who's in charge of this? Who can I talk to? That handles your note sales. Most of these may be the individuals that own the company. They may also be the person in charge of licensing still. Don't know. But the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is now that we've, look at this, in an hour and a half, we have posted videos and a posting on LinkedIn. It's to 15,000 people. We've got a video on YouTube that we're effectively using. We've got email invites via LinkedIn going out right now as well to asset managers behind us. Okay, all that in the first hour and a half. That's not too shabby. Actually, less than, well, right at an hour and a half for the most part. This is, and now we're set up where we can make a bunch of phone calls for 128 people and just rock and roll and see what they have on a regular basis. Some of these are going to be bankers. Some of these are going to be servicing companies. It is a beautiful thing that we're working. And we got an email going out to what, 1,300 other asset managers at the same time. So you see, we have compressed. Now, if you couldn't call banks right now and you had to go to the job, guess what? Go to the work and realize and feel very proud of the fact, hey, I got some stuff in. I got some stuff working for me, going towards my note business, going towards, I got money going in the bank here. I got stuff that's working for me. This is a great feeling, right? So questions before we start dialing for dollars. We're probably gonna take a little bit of a short bio break here for you. Get up, stretch, get a fresh cup of coffee. and then dive into calling banks with everybody. All right. Anything from you guys? Let's see here. Who is Arnold, Fred, Jack, Linda, Merrill Lee, Mike, Rico, Larry, RJ, everybody else on there. I'm just looking here, making sure. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break and we'll go from there, everybody.